is a beautiful morning, and it is September 21st. It's around 60 degrees, and it's about 11 o'clock in the morning, and I'm in zone 6B. So there you go, and I'm going to walk through this little garden here. I have pulled out my beans. I had a wonderful harvest of greasy beans, and so they were infested with Mexican bean beetles though, so I pulled those out yesterday, and that was quite a chore, as you can imagine, with a chain link fence. They just grew up all in that fence. It took me forever to get all that out, but I don't have a lot growing right now. I probably could plant a few more things that might make it through the winter, but since I'm not going to be here a lot, you know, this is not where I am living. This is just where I like to hang out occasionally. I'm probably not going to plant anything else, so we'll see. I do have some Rapini coming up here though, so I'm pretty happy about that. Now, since I was here last, there's been 4 inches of rain. I thought it would be interesting to find out just how much it rains when I'm not here, so I'm guessing it was about 2 weeks ago. I'll check when I get home to see the last time I was out here, but I put that here so I can measure it, so that gives you an idea of how much rain I'm getting here. And now that I've pulled out all the greasy beans here, that's going to free up this area right here to get a lot more sunlight. So I'm thinking this basil, instead, you know how it's stretching there, maybe it'll start to bush out a little bit, but since it's cooling off so much, I'm not sure that it will grow much more. It was probably in the high 40s last night. So, and then here's some dill. It's looking really pretty. I've been using some of that. Cilantro is going to seed, and I think there was some green seed on here yesterday. I saw some. Yes, here's some right here. A little bit of green seed right there. I just have my gloves on because I just came out here to get something, and I thought to do this video. So calendula right there, that was a surprise for me when I pulled out all the beans. I was happy to see that there, and it seems to always like the cooler temperatures better, so maybe I'll see a bloom out of there pretty soon. I think it's trying to bloom, and this is the lemon cream calendula. And then the nasturtium, you know, this is the one that climbs. So it has just gone to seed. I mean, there are seeds everywhere. So I may actually save these because if it's planted in the right spot, it can do really well. And then down there are a lot of carrots, the Carnival blend carrots, and so those are really nice. Like those, lots of color. And then I want to show you guys this. This is my sunflower. I cannot tell you how big that is. That's got to be at least 1 foot across. And close my eyes, show you here. Whoop. Okay, close my eyes. They are ready to harvest too, so I'm going to try to pull those down today. There's no telling how much that thing weighs, so I have 4 of them. I'm going to brine them. I'm actually going to roast those this year in a really good brine. Okay, and then the jade bush beans, look at it, just booming with blooms and everything else. So I've eaten more of those than I can eat, and I gave a huge bag to the neighbor, and he ate them up. He came over to tell me the other day how much he enjoyed them, that he's usually used to something that has some strings in it, or you know, like a greasy bean, which is a lot of a bean. And he said when he boiled these, they really enjoyed it because it's a lot of pod and no string. But I told him they're also really good steamed. So, and then look at the kale. This is a good picture of what happens when you are away and you are not around your greens to spray with BT. Apparently some worms had a feast. Isn't that funny looking? So, I don't know. So I've got to pull that out. They'll probably find my Rapini here soon. And then nothing's growing over here. I think I put some lettuce seed here last time I was here, and apparently it has not germinated. So I don't know. I need to look at this a little closer, I guess. Alright, and then back here, now I'm going to show you a picture of how this squash plant looked last time I was here. You will not believe how this thing has grown since I was here last. I walked in here, I could not believe what I saw. I think even in my video, my last tour, I said that I probably wasn't going to get any squash, and I may have planted it too late, and I just said, well, we'll see. Well, would you look at this? vine. Okay, it's stretched out all the way across here, and there's squash, butternut squash down there, which has not cross-pollinated with anything because I'm not growing anything else in this family over here. And then it's gone all the way down there, and it's stretched out over the fence, and it got mowed over. That's fine with me though, because it's taken over the whole place. But right down under there is a huge butternut squash under that leaf down there. Can you see that? And then there's some more here. So I'm just like, wow, I cannot believe this. I may actually have some more butternut squash. So there you go. There are worms getting into the squash blossoms though, because I really wanted to use some of the blossoms, but every one I looked at had a worm in it. So that's no good. And then the lemongrass is huge, looking really nice. Loving it right there. Hopefully it will come back next year. We'll see. And then this is some amaranth that I've had fun. I've been playing around with that, and it's got some insect damage, but some of the leaves are really nice and they don't have insect damage. So really pretty little flowers too. And then all the herbs are doing well except for the French tarragon down there, but I'll show you that in just a second. I gotta walk around these sunflowers. Before I show you the French tarragon, I'll show you the cilantro over there. There's some growing, so happy about that. I succession planted it, and I showed you the other plant, of course, right when I started my video. And then the rosemary is just booming. Just tons of rosemary. And this one has a little bit more of a softer stem on it than what I was growing. You know, the rosemary tends to have that real woody stem, and so there's a lot of new growth on here, but it's always been really soft. So I got that at the grocery store, so I don't know what kind it is. And I got the thyme at the grocery store too. It's kind of not looking too good. I need to probably cut it back. And the same with the French tarragon. It's I think that all of the beans that were growing up here shaded these plants a little bit, so it didn't get enough sunlight. But I can probably I'm going to cut back all this at the top, because I have some at the end. I used what I could and something last night. And then down here, it's starting to have some new growth, so that's a good sign. So I'll cut off all this top before I go home. And then I'm going to go ahead and pull out all these little carrots. Let me go ahead and get one now so we can see what's in here. It's always so much fun, you know, to get carrots. This is supposed to be one of those long ones, but we'll see. Wow, that's a big old fat carrot, isn't it? Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see if I got any more in here. Beautiful. It's starting to curve over. Now these are the ones that are supposed to get, I think, 8 inches long or something. So I was just doing this to kind of see how they would grow in a 6 inches of soil. So you're seeing it with me. These are little tiny carrots, skinny and long. Those are nice. They're nice carrots though. I like how they're looking here. All right. And then I have the rainbow blend down there, or a carnival blend, you know, the colorful ones. And then some more cilantro here. So I think it'll do well now that it's cooling down. This is a amaranth as well, the Molten Fire. I was really looking forward to this. But as you can see, something else was looking forward to it as well. So the leaves on this are just so beautiful. Of course they're not right now because mine's been eaten up. It's almost just like it's not even a real color. It's so beautiful. So anyway, the amaranth, there's so many different varieties that are just beautiful, I think. That's the elephant head here. And it grew completely different than the one I had at my house. So interesting. All right, there you have it. More sunflowers. Lots of sunflowers. I gotta get those down today. So thanks so much for watching. Have a beautiful day. And these are the sunchokes that were given to me by One Yard Revolution. So there you go. They are blooming. I'm not sure if I should have harvested them before they bloomed. But just playing around with them, having fun. Okay, here is the river garden. And it is the end of the season. I have sunflowers toppling over everywhere out here. And so I guess it's time to either harvest those. I've got some more in the front that I'm actually going to use, and I'm just probably going to use these as bird seed. All of them are falling over from the weight of the seeds, I'm assuming. And then let's see, I don't really have much in here right now. That squash plant looks like it's going to have to come out. It's not looking too good. I have a lot of sweet potatoes though, so hoping to have a nice sweet potato harvest. And then over here is a little watermelon. I don't know if that's supposed to get really big, so obviously it's not going to out here. But it's nice to see that it grew. So I'm just testing this garden this year, because this is the first year for this garden, just to kind of see what grows well. And last year I did put a few things out here, and one of them was this this winter squash here, and it produced a lot of pumpkins out here last year, but not this year. I planted it really late, so that might be why I don't see anything on it. And the asparagus, there we go. Hopefully I'll have a big bed of asparagus next year. That would be nice. And then the corn, you can see it's all dried up and everything. I've already harvested it, and I am sure that's what my granny used to grow. So I made a big, huge skillet of creamed corn with that corn, and it tasted just like hers. So, I mean, I would make it completely different if I, today, but I just want to kind of try to replicate what she did, and it was really good because of the corn. I couldn't have done it if I had bought store-bought corn. Okay, so down here I have a sugar baby watermelon. I'm going to get that today before I head home. I think it's ready to go. And then all the herbs are doing really well over here. So I really needed to mulch this, and that's what I did last time I was here. I think it was last time or the time before, and so all the mulch really helped it. The borage is just taking off. It's just beautiful. I just love the borage plant. And the little flowers, you know, you can use those. Those are edible. And then all of the carrots, down here there's a few carrots, I can get those before I leave today. Basil, lots of basil here, Thai and Italian. The Greek oregano is doing really well. I am just really thrilled about the Greek oregano. So, and I'm thrilled about it because, you know, you can divide those perennial herbs down and put them in all kind of different places. And so this one's been divided down from my garden, and I think I planted that the first year at my other garden, so that was probably 4 years ago. And then I divided it 2 years ago, and I put some in a container, and I put some out here last year. That was one of the few plants I did put out here, and then this year it's just really done well. So those perennial herbs like that are just wonderful, and I love that oregano. I just really love to cook with it, so that's wonderful. And then the butternut squashes, I do believe that these crossed, because they are not the shape of butternut squash. However, I have cooked with them, and they taste just like butternut squash, so that's the good thing. It still has the flavor. And there's another one down here, and there was another one somewhere. Now that one over there, something got into it, and it's rotten. So, and then this one is, there's another one there. So, sweet potatoes again, they're climbing out everywhere. So here's a vine coming here. Now I have harvested and harvested greasy beans. I have gotten so many off of here. What a wonderful little bean. I like it because it's so versatile. You know, here in the mountains, people cook those just like a green bean, and boil them down with bacon, of course. Real meaty, hearty green bean. And then at this point, though, at the end of the season, you know, I can just leave them up here and let them get really big, and we can shell them down and have a nice little bean, you know, a bean without a pod. So, really enjoying the greasy beans. And I will do a seed review on that probably this winter. You know, when everything slows down, the garden gets to slow down, I'll get to do other kind of videos. And it's slowing down now, so I'm trying to do other videos for you guys. And there you have it. Okay. Well, thanks so much for watching and stopping by my garden with me, and have a beautiful day. It is around 10:30 in the morning. I'm in zone 6B, and it's about 68 degrees. It's supposed to get up to 77 today. So I'll just walk you right through here and show you what's growing. These are the last probably of my tomato plants. I have several tomatoes on here. I'm letting those ripen up, and it won't be long before I can enjoy those. Those are the Thessaloniki. I'm also saving the seeds to those this year. And some lemongrass looking wonderful. Let's see over here. I've just been enjoying all of these herbs, all different kinds of herbs. It looks like it's the last of the basil here. I have some other basil down there that I've been enjoying. And over here, right in the middle of the weeds, is a kaffir lime tree from seed. And so it's doing very well. Common chives and some more lemongrass. Let's see on this side, just, you know, some parsley, curly parsley, Italian parsley, just kept bolting on me this year. So I'm going to try to grow it next year from seed so I can enjoy Italian parsley all summer long. I did dry some Italian parsley this year, so I'll be using that this winter in some soups. And then I have these little pesky weeds that reseed themselves in all of my containers here, so I have to constantly pull those out. They're little pesky things. This is the red Reuben basil. Not doing too well right now. The basil is cooling down a lot, and it's just not been doing too well for me. Alright, that's some mint. Will definitely have to be transplanted out of that pot next year because it is really outgrowing it. And then a French tarragon is looking really just beautiful. And I really just probably need to cut it and dry it because I have some new growth that's coming up through the center. And I think it would just be nice to go ahead and, if I can't use it, go ahead and dry it right now before it gets much colder. And it's hyssop back there in the back. And some more pesto basil here. And the leaves right here that are completely green and not variegated, they taste just like regular basil. So I don't know what this plant went through, but it's showing some signs of, I guess, of one of its original parents or something. I'm not sure. And then we have another kaffir lime tree, and that one's been doing really well. Again, I'm growing that one from seed. And then some purple sage and Greek oregano. This is the golden oregano. It's kind of cascading over the side of the pot there. And then a pepper plant that I have put up more peppers that I'm going to be able to use in probably 2 years from this one plant. So I've been real proud with the production of this plant this year. It's not looking too healthy right now. I think I need to give it something. I'm not sure what, but it needs something. And then I didn't finish up over here. Just some mint, apple mint. It just takes so much water to keep that thing looking good. So you can tell it's kind of drooping right now. It needs water. And then just some lettuce. This is part of my fall planting. And some parsley. And then that thyme has never done well. That's lime thyme. It's always looked unhealthy. And I do just need to move it somewhere else. I know it just needs a new container. And this is some of the basil that's looking pretty good. I've been using lots of it. Rosemary. And then the lime tree. The limes just are doing very well. Lots and lots of limes on it this year. Really, really happy about that. And down below I have a French tarragon that I am growing from a cutting. So, and then some galangal there. Alright, so I'll take you down to that pretty little garden down there. It's definitely slowed down a lot, but I have some of my fall plantings in there I'd like to show you. Okay, let's go. Okay, here are just some of the plants that I move in and out of my garage, and so I just keep them kind of in my one of my driveways. So this is the Meyer lemon tree, and I've got a couple of lemons on there I can get. And, you know, this is kind of what I've told you guys before, my neglect plant. I haven't given it much attention. And hopefully one of these days I will. I can move it inside or something. That would be great. This is the pomegranate bush. It's turning yellow on me. I've got to give it some attention. All my plants need so much attention. But anyway, here's the pomegranate. And look at that. in Zone 6B, a little tiny pomegranate. I don't think it's going to get very big, but it does need water. That's maybe why this little plant is drying out on me. I've got to put some water down there. And you guys, you notice that I do have those little bins at the bottom of these containers. And I want to point out too that that water, when I put it down there, is gone in no time. Okay, especially when it's hot. So I wouldn't leave just water sitting down there because it could, you could have like a root rot or something. But it's okay to put water down there and something like that if it's going to drink it up right away. Okay, here's the ghost pepper plant. A lot of little ghost peppers down in there, and I've been this will be my probably 4th harvest this year off of this plant when I come down here to get all these peppers. And I've been just making a powder with that for my blackened seasoning. And it's turned out really, really good. I like that clean heat and different kind of dishes like chili and that kind of thing too. Okay, and then a lot of jalapeno peppers here. I've been putting these up straight away into a freezer bag, and that way I can use it this winter. They're real nice to just grate them into something, cornbread or grits or something like that during the winter. I always have some jalapeno peppers. And then the poblano pepper, which I wish I would have grown more of these. You can kind of see one there, some over there. I've really been enjoying the flavor of this pepper. So next year, maybe I'll grow another one of those. Okay, so let's go down to my other garden down there, and I'll show you what's growing. Okay, well, it is September 30th, and I'm in Zone 6B. It's around 11:30 in the morning, and it's about 69 degrees. Okay, so our first frost date will be next month, probably the middle of next month, maybe the 3rd week. So I'll just kind of show you what kind of things I've planted for my fall garden. And so I have some rapini here. Something started to eat that, so I sprayed it with a little bit of spinosad, I believe it was. And that seems to have corrected the problem on the newer leaves. And then of course I have some Pac-Man broccoli and some sugar snap peas right there climbing up the little trellis. I don't know that those are going to produce anything for me before a good hard frost. Last year I had great luck with them. So it can tolerate a little bit of some cold weather, but it doesn't like the real hard frost. Okay, over here you see this terrible looking little Cherokee purple tomato plant. It has just stayed in here. I have not moved it out because y'all may know that I had that little garden spider in my garden over here. Well, she moved from one part of the garden over to here, and I'll show you her web. She was here yesterday. She's not here this morning, so I'm not sure what happened to her. But anyway, she laid an egg sac, and I'll show you it real quick. Right there. And so that will stay like that until spring, and then the spiders will hatch out of it. And hopefully I'll have a lot of those in my garden next year. So I might just take it out and put it somewhere else in my garden and relocate it, because I'd like for it to be in the center of the garden instead of on the perimeter, just for some organic insect control, because the insects did not get near her at all. They did not like being close to her, so I wouldn't mind having a couple of those spiders in my garden. Okay, so Thai basil. Look at that Swiss chard. You know, Swiss chard is just one of those things that just grows and grows, and I'm going to have to use some of that. It's just doing too well for me not to use it in something. I did use it as a replacement for lettuce this summer, so instead of a BLT, I made BSTs, making Swiss chard and tomato sandwiches. Actually, they were sliders, so they turned out pretty good. Little lemon cream calendula down there. The calendula always really likes this time of year when the temperatures start to cool off some. Okay, over here are the strawberries. Like I pointed out on my last tour, they are loving this bed. You notice I've mulched it down really good with some compost. This is just a leaf mulch compost. It's broken down very nicely. And then there are some sweet potatoes over there. Just really liking that. I'm hoping to harvest those soon. A couple of different sweet potato plants there. And behind the Swiss chard, I have some of my seedlings that I've planted. A lot of kale and some cabbage and some more rapini. I'm really liking the rapini, and I'm finding that it's growing well where I live. So that's what I try to plant, things that grow well where I live. And this is my little bed of lettuce. And some more broccoli, which I'm going to have to spray. It looks like the little black flea beetles are probably attacking this. You notice you'll see that wherever you see lots of little holes. So I'll spray this again with some spinosad. And then the nasturtiums and the marigolds. The marigolds are just beautiful this time of year. And looking really nice. Alright, carrots. I can get over here and get these carrots. I made a nice little dish last year with carrots and sweet potato leaves. So I will probably do that again, and I'll make a recipe video specifically on just that side dish. Okay? And here we go with some lemongrass, looking really pretty. Behind that is some kind of like a white carrot or a parsley is what it's called. And it's the first time I've grown it, so I'll harvest that for you guys later. I didn't thin it out, so I'm not really looking forward to harvesting it because I don't know what I'm going to get down in there. Probably nothing. And galangal here. And a little basil here. And the mint, looking really nice over here. Lots of mint. And then over there is the molten fire amaranth. Beautiful color. Just very fiery. And then I'm saving the seed to some of this fennel here. And it's a green fennel seed right now, so I'm trying to get that off and been drying that. And then would you look at that? That is a potato. I guess I forgot to harvest one of my potatoes earlier in the summer, and up it came about a month ago. So I guess I'm going to have some maybe fall potatoes. That'd be nice, but I planted them, you know, like in, I want to say it was March. So it's been down there a while. And let's see, more calendula over here. More carrots, lots of carrots right there. The marigolds again, looking really pretty. These are French marigolds. That's what you plant to help with your insect control. And silver thyme. And then some more of those parsley things I was telling you about. And again, I showed you the sweet potatoes. Over here I have garlic chives that are going to seed. And then this, look how healthy and beautiful this plant is. I only wish that I lived in a hotter climate, because this is that Asian winged bean that's supposed to be really pretty and very unique. But it has not produced not one bloom. I'll bet you those leaves are edible. I'll have to look that up because they look so healthy. Anyway, I wish it would produce at least one bean. Oh well, maybe next year. Maybe next year I can start them indoors and get them out here earlier. Okay, well, this was my son's garden. He did end up harvesting some corn out of here. It had a few worms in it, so not happy about that, but it was okay. One little sugar snap pea climbing up there. Some nasturtiums over here, and that's about it. Alright, thank you so much for watching. Have a beautiful day.